Hello again, YouTube. This is The Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. On this video, I want to talk about holding grudges and why you should not let yourself get to hold grudges no matter what. Now, I'm not telling you to try to be in relationships with bad people or with the wrong people. But what I'm telling you is don't hold grudges, because holding grudges will be like a clog to all the good things that will come your way. And that's why the devil be wanting people to hold grudges, because not only can it affect you physically and mentally, but it'll affect you financially too. Now, everything that happened to people financially ain't because of this, but sometimes it can be. Case in point, this is why you got to have people around you that love you and support you, because if you don't, that person can be holding a grudge against you and they bringing that bad energy into your situation, into your life. So when you see people that like you be at odds with and this, that, and the other, just forgive them and move on. Don't hold no grudges against them. If you got to keep dealing with them, maybe it's like a former spouse, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's somebody in your family, maybe somebody you used to work with. Just let all of that go, man. Life goes on. Don't let something that happened back here in your life affect you up here. You see, you know, you got people that change their whole sexual preferences over stuff that happened to them when they was little. You got to let that go, and you got to be normal. You know what I mean? Like, don't be holding on to that and letting it cause you to go further into sins, doing things that the Most High would not condone and permit you to do. So you can't be holding grudges against these people. Like, let it go. You know, something happened to you when you was younger. Don't let that be the cause of anything in your future being negative. You know, because see, here's what happens. I've seen people, they end up on drugs. They end up switch hitting, if y'all know what I'm saying. They end up with all these different vices. You know, that now don't get me wrong. There are some things that people call vices that can be vices, but just doing that thing is not a vice. It's how you do the thing. Like, case in point, gambling, fantasy leagues, lotteries, those type of things can be a vice, but just merely doing it is not a vice, and it's not sin. And in fact, I've seen, like, through my years, I've seen people that they was told by a specific pastors, notice I said pastors, by specific pastors, that gambling was a sin, this and that, right? But then these same pastors use their money to pay off rainbow activities that they ain't had no business doing. Or some other activity, babies out of wedlock. They told you it was a sin for you to play, but then they took your money that you was giving them and they used it in debaucherous ways. So the mere activity sometimes is not always a vice, in terms of like stuff like lotteries and stuff like that. But it can be if you ain't handling your business with other stuff. But what I'm telling you is, in this video, what I'm telling you, do not hold grudges. There's no need to hold a grudge. Forgive and move on. Like, you supposed to know within yourself who you gonna surround yourself with, who you gonna keep dealing with, who you gonna distance yourself from a little bit. But even if you choose to distance yourself from somebody, don't hold no grudge. Because for one, you don't know what that person is going through. You don't know their mental state sometimes. You don't want to be the one that causes them to go over the top. So, yeah, sometimes you got to leave people alone, but don't hold grudges. And this is one, I'm going to show you some ways you know you're holding a grudge. When somebody bring them up, you just get furious. Like case in point, when I was in Texas, right? I was doing corrections down there. I was a JCO4. And things just didn't go right at the facility I was working at. But I can playfully bring up my supervisor there and things he used to say that to this day is hilarious. Like, I don't know if I ever told y'all the story, but everybody I tell the story, they all find it hilarious. So they were picking with me, like literally pick. It all started, I told y'all some of the story. It all started because me and a guy was having a debate about child support. And he brought somebody else in the debate who was touchy on that subject because of how her kids' fathers didn't help her. So she began to target me after that. She used her position over me to basically try to pick with me, hoping that I quit or whatever her motive was. So I think, too, it was the time when me and her were equals. We were both JCL4s, and we were at community service. And one of the kids had a stick that was real sharp with a point on it walking around. I said, man, you can't be walking around here with all these people with that. I said, give me that stick. Then he said, such and such said I could have it. I said, give me the stick. And then I ended up getting into it with them because I took the stick from them. And so, because me and her was equals, I wasn't finna be responsible if the dude get hurt or somebody else end up getting hurt. So, I think that was part of, she was holding grudges against me for that because she got in trouble. But we were equals at that time, so, you know, I wasn't trying to hear it. But after she became a 5, which made her my supervisor, and she only got it because I was being all... That was one of the biggest mistakes in my life, I'm going to tell you. Because Texas was a lovely place, and I was doing good. One of the biggest mistakes in my life is when I didn't take the 5 position. Because I like, man, my supervisor was annoying me. I ain't want to deal with him that close. I said, man, I ain't going for that. I should have went for it. If I would have went for it, I would still probably be down there to this day. But I was being emotional. You see what I'm saying? So I know what I'm talking about. And I didn't go for it. She ended up getting it and made everybody... She became everybody's nightmare that didn't kiss up to her. You kissed up to her, you was fine. And even one of the other JCOs, he wasn't a 4. He was more like a 3. He's probably a 4 now. He stopped kissing up to her and she started messing with him. Because I talked to him on the phone like a couple years like afterward. So the funny story I want to tell you, like, okay, so they was picking on me. Like, and I just got tired of them. Like, they was just, everything I did, they was like just trying to find ways to make me do it again, so on and so forth. I said, man, I'm tired of playing games with y'all. I'm just going to start writing grievances. And my supervisor, his voice went so high. It was just hilarious. He said, do what you got to do. And he had these bags under his eye. He was looking me right in the face, man. And so I'm covering up like this. Because now I was mad. I went from being mad to I didn't want to laugh in his face. I said, I'm done talking to y'all. I'm just going to start filing grievances. He said, do what you gotta do. And he leaned up like this. He was looking at me with them little swollen eye. And then like after a couple seconds, he said it again. He said, you can do whatever you gotta do. And his head practically was moving like a woman. So I'm practically, at this point, I'm not mad no more. I'm like, I kind of jumped like because I was laughing. Like, and I was squeezing him up because I know he get mad at that kind of stuff if I laugh in his face. But when I never heard his voice. I never heard a man's voice go that different. So it just was so funny, man. I said, man, I'm done playing with y'all, man. Y'all targeting people. I said, I'm just finna start filing agreement. He said, do what you gotta do. And he looking at me, and I'm looking away, but I saw him still looking at me because I was trying not to laugh. I was just like that. And they was trying not to laugh either, the other ones that was in there. Then he said it again. You could do whatever you gotta do. And boy, I was done. When I got away from them, every time I thought about that, I just started laughing. You know how your eyes be burning because they just water. Man, I laughed about that practically all the way home. All the way home. I just thought that was hilarious. And I just kept hearing his voice just go high like that. Like, I think he got mad like that because he had retired like 2 times. They used to be like, oh, he's the best.